Hello everyone, Digfig here, and welcome back to some more Perils of Gorgon. The Outer Worlds Perils of Gorgon is what I'm supposed to say. I just said Perils of Gorgon. I don't know what I'm doing, but I should breathe in, out. We left off at this terminal here. From Tanaka S to Low J, please explain. Dr. Low, I am going to have to take researchers' side on this one. Your absence during an emergency is conspicuous. I don't want to report you because I don't know what corporate auditors scheduling interviews with the entire staff while they're trying to meet deadlines. The unplanned sabotage event already halted experimentation and development. We are trying to get our operations running again, and we could use all the help we can get. Yeah, it's a bit sus. I'm already down one staff member. St. G's gone. You know why. You owe this team an explanation to any number of grievances. Your absence is the most urgent one, but I'll take an explanation as to why there are primals being held in the caves near the waste disposal site. They're your primals, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, kind of losing his freaking mind, and he's high as shit. Said he felt too guilty to do his job. From Low J to Tanaka S. Subject, please explain. Mr. Tanaka, no, I can't explain the primals. Primals defy explanation. They are a miracle of the evolutionary adaptation of a treasure trove of interesting genetic material. I'm not going to explain my alleged absence either. This is because I am not absent at all. My presence is implicit to the work of my researchers. The researchers still employed in this department are skilled and more than capable of repairing any damage done by the alleged saboteur. Please don't bother me again with trivial problems. You are the security chief. Stick to securing things, including but not limited to the safety of the lab and my privacy. Warm regards and pleasant felicitations? I don't know what that word is. Jasper Lowe. Got the high vocabulary people, and I'm just a dumbass sitting over here behind my computer. Like, come on now. Oh, Tanaka S to Low J. Resignation. Dr. Lowe, I'm just finishing filing my official report on the unplanned sabotage event. Unfortunately, filing a report on a sabotage event requires me to also include a list of captured, apprehended, and neutralized saboteurs. Company policy. No list means I am getting arrested for dereliction of duty and you are getting penalized for hiring me. Saboteurs is plural. I cannot include Mr. St. Guma's name and be done with it at least resort. As a last resort. I have been forced to include the names of all former employees whose contracts were recently terminated in discrimination. These researchers are no longer part of Project Gorgon and will likely not survive without a job. So I may as well use their names to save our jobs. I filed my report last night and haven't been able to sleep since. This is to let you know what I will be filing for transfer at the end of the next cycle. Yeah, I mean, you got a conscience, buddy. And unfortunately, this isn't a world to have a conscience. Well, I just fell for the damn hole trap. Asses will be dumbasses. Well, we are now down here. Not exactly how I wanted to get down here. Auto mechanicals all seem to be pointed in the other direction. This is where we were just fighting, right? Or are these remnants of a fight from before we got here? Dead primals, acid everywhere, human bones, because apparently primals like to store their shit. Weird, fancy, oh, okay. I was like, why is there a drill bit here and there? But no, so that's for the mining. This thing just stands all top heavy and unbalanced and weird like. Yeah. I don't think that would be that good of a miner, I'm totally honest. I'll call that now. That's where I killed the original guy, so we did loot up there already. What is this little path? Armor cleaver? Is that a special weapon? No. Interesting. Random little thingy up there. Loot that. We came through this tunnel. This is how I normally would have came in. Isolate out the mechanicals. Well apparently I whiffed all those shots. Yeah, are we always victorious though? Like when are... No, it's not true. The hell? Is there like primals below us? Question mark? Drug myself a little. That primal sound up close and personal is very sketchy. And very creepy, to be honest. Making sure I wasn't breathing in the mic there. Hopefully I'm still not. Not a fan of you. Got creeped out yesterday. We're blowing out all the water lines because it's supposed to be freezing for the next 2 days up here. And after we finished it all, there was like a loud thud and scraping noise. Sounded close to me, like way too close for comfort. Okay, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fast travel here, so we'll hit this up. I don't know if a bear or some animal is fucking with a tree or doing something, but it sounded like a big thud, like a big animal, not like a tree falling. I hear those all the time. Something else, really sketchy, especially how close it came from me. And this primal breathing like this, like in my face.
This is where Low was when his mind was pushed to its breaking point.
It was. Where are these guys? They're like actually a below here. Sealed. The existence of these... Are they above me, actually? They might be above me. Whatever. Oh boy, this is a bloody fucking mess. Hey, shit.
You survived.
Of course I did.
You are remarkably intent on scuttling my every plan to end you. How inconsiderate. Especially after I've gone to so much effort to see Gorgon rest in peace. Why do you insist on waking it up?
But Gorgon's been a ruin for years. You think they've been here the whole time?
You know, you would be much more relaxed if you released your attachment to the past.
Random. But yes, I do keep fucking with everything you're trying to do. That's for damn sure. Admin functions. Status? Executive lockdown must be overridden at Chem Lab. Turn to admin functions, override. Turn to base route messages. Incoming, oh boy. Jeez Louise. Okay then. From Ambrosa O to Chem Lab. Updated security practices, high priority. Pursuant to last week's incident, new security protocols are now in effect. All lab personnel must tidy their workstations at the end of their shift. Close and lock all drawers, safes, closets, vents, and other lab doors before leaving for the day. All visitors must be accompanied. Furthermore, any laboratory technician accompanying a guest who has not received certification in either self-defense or hand-to-hand combat must also be accompanied by a member of the security team. Damn. All confidential information must remain as such. Do not discuss the nature of your work outside or inside the lab, except to warn peers of imminent danger, such as fire, chemical spill, or suspected corporate espionage. All laboratory techs are to isolate themselves until further notice. Any laboratory tech found fraternizing in groups of 2 or more or found speaking with the same person more than once will be reprimand. Spacers Choice Human Resources Reeducation and Reallocation Department. Fuck. That is some strict corporate rules. Finally, unless you are actually physically sitting in an interview session pre-approved by me, do not speak to the fucking journalist. Oof. Dr. Olivia Ambrose. This is the same thing? Yeah, this is exactly the same. What's the difference? There isn't one. Whatever, AT concerns. Ambrose to Dr. Lowe. Jasper, I dug into the volunteer data Maureen sent over. You were right. Their certain formation is resulting in alarming outcomes, even by SC standards. Promethea and I performed a handful of autopsies on the weeks deceased and made a few notable observations. In one case, that of a young man in his early 20s, we noted a degree of gray matter loss one would expect to see in a man of 70. His brain had also atrophied to a shocking extent. Again, as one might expect in a much older man. In other cases, that of a woman in a middle age. The subject was no longer able to achieve natural sleep. After 11 consecutive days of wakefulness, she was no longer able to distinguish her violent hallucinations from reality. Holy shit. Was unable to distinguish her violent hallucinations from reality. Not that hard of a sentence. Yet, even as she sprawled, she demanded other injections. Gotta have those drugs. I was sure our last tweak would reduce the inducence of violence among the volunteer population. We might attempt to further refine the compound through I don't know what that fucking word is. I'm gonna leave it out. Though I am doubtful that that will be effectuous. Violence aside, I am growing increasingly concerned by the habit-forming nature of the compound. What do you think? I mean, it's fucking super highly addictive. Monthly physicals. The materials we work with are dangerous and the result in permanent injury, disfigurement, or madness when handled for extended periods. Therefore, all laboratory personnel will now report to the project physician, Dr. Pranina Lewick, for monthly physicals and psychiatric evaluations. I do this out of abundance of caution. Schedule your first appointment immediately and notify me when you do. I have access to your medical records, so you will know when you shrink. You will know when you shirk. Do not make me drag you to his office myself. Well, at least he's trying. Messages, outgoing messages, concerns. From Low J to Ambrosia O. Subject AT concerns Ambrosia. 3. What do you think? These days I try to think as little as possible. Thinking is a dreadful habit, which leads to self-awareness, which leads to resignation. It is true that the current formula is resulting in alarming outcomes, but not I think by SC standards. SC standards are low. You report 11 consecutive days of wakefulness and SC sees 11 consecutive days of productivity. You report an inhibition to distinguish violent hallucinations from reality. SC is going to try and push us to turn those hallucinations into a phantom image of company logos. Lulz. You say the compound is habit forming and SC is going to see an increase in demand for your never-ending supply of xenic waste. But to be serious, yes, the compound is absolutely habit forming. Addiction correlates with diagnosis with dosage, and dosage size is inversely proportional to enrichment quality. Long as Corporation asks us to keep our dosage minimal and controlled, there's a reasonable chance we can improve the enrichment process to filter out some of the dangerous side effects. That's going to take time, a lot more time than corporate realizes.
Since we've been traveling together, we've visited a lot of places that set my teeth on edge. This here makes my skin crawl.
It should. It's really
I
fucked
dare
up.
say it seems like the inmates were running the asylum here.
Something went very wrong, and about what do you expect from a Spacer's Choice operation. I'm sure no one meant for this to happen. You remember that guy who was running it, right? Let's go with number 2.
Some of their folks ain't entirely bad. They made Edgewater's walls strong and kept our water running. But mucking about with our biology? Our bodies? It's wrong.
Yeah, a lot of
The folks
corporation
down
stuff is
here
wrong.
dedicated their lives to fixing Halcyon. They were supposed to be the company's best and brightest. How'd they lose their way?
They were pushed to do the impossible by people who weren't accountable. You said it, the Spacer's Choice, best and the brightest we're talking about. Things probably didn't start out this way. This place is a wreck. Who cares how it happened? They were pushed to the impossible by people who
That
weren't
might have been
accountable.
enough for me back in Edgewater. But after all we've seen of Halcyon, Captain, someone should have said no.
Minnie thinks her family has a bad name now. It's nothing compared to how it will be if she compounds on her mother's failures.
That's why we're helping her, as long as she knows gratitude in bits. Let's get this journal before we jump to conclusions. I want to see what else this investigation digs up. Let's go with number 4. Don't we all? There were more messages though, right? There was archived messages. 2 Gorgon staff, subject employee termination, Herbert S. Chi. Effective immediately, Herbert Sankrama is no longer an employee of Spacer's Choice, PR&D division. His body has been forwarded to the chemical waste dump for processing. Mr. Sergeant Gurren was a saboteur sent by a rival firm to disrupt our vital efforts. It is only thanks to the swift reporting of one of your esteemed colleagues that Mr. Sergeant Germain was prevented from causing any significant damage to our facilities, intellectual property, or staff. Well, that was a complete lie. I understand that Mr. Sergeant was popular around the Gorgon campus for his genuine and helpful demeanor. This is because he was a spy. If you encounter any similar friendly staff to alert alert a member of the security team immediately, so you can't even be nice to each other now. We are shifting all of Mr. Singer's remaining tasks to other laboratory technicians. Finally, anyone caught visiting his grave or discussing his departure will be remanded to Spacer's Choice Humanity Resource Re-Education and Reallocation Department. Fucked up. But I mean, what's new? This whole... everything's messed up. Ridiculously so in this world. Hear a recording.
Night falls on Gorgon. Though I suppose it's always dark here in the void. The lab is empty, and I am at last alone. I'm preoccupied with thoughts of the single-celled xenocytes that make their home here.
I'd have hoped a smart fellow like Mr. Lowe would know better than to test his super drug on primals.
Listen to
They
this.
require adversity to thrive. Perhaps that's why our bodies react to theirs. There is a harmony in us. The law didn't craft us for the void, yet we scrabble across its cold worlds, building, persisting, as the xenocytes do. We live. Against all odds, we live. But for how long?
Good question. Clearly not long enough. Okay, now we'll come down here and trigger the primals.
Nice hit!
There's little baby primals. Okay. Empty bin. That's for the box of stuff. Anyways, why is everything done in caves? I mean, I guess we are on an asteroid, so why not do cave stuff? But like, So let the primals loose down here and they just live down here? No care in the world? There. something apparently. Be the cages that presumably they broke out of. And then put the doors kind of half back on, I guess? That doesn't make much sense, game. Why let me come down here? Not even any good loot. Ah, pick up Jasper's research. No, initial research into primal neurochemistry has proven fruitful. I've discovered a cardiac cell replicator for adrenaline analogs to human cell receptors in function, if not in physiology. It should be possible to develop a pharmaceutical drug that blocks the effect of adrenotime hormones in primals, thus curtailing their paranoia, agitation, and violent irritability. Correction, it is possible, just unlike giving the way OCI has me under thumb screws. Adrenotime is a dangerous drug. The danger can be mitigated by developing an adrenotime inhibitor. Take adrenotime, then take the theoretical drug to minimize its side effects. I barely have the time, energy, or resource to develop the half-passable adrenotime, so the idea must remain a dream. Nonetheless, notes follow. Hope spring returns. Well, maybe you can cure marauders? Theoretical. I mean, all those little pieces of paper on top of things I could read this whole time. I haven't been clicking on them enough. Random. I don't think there should be something else down here, but there's not that I can see. I'll head back up here. And on that note, everyone, we are out of time for this episode, so I do really appreciate you all stopping by and checking it out. Do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification, and I will see you all in the next episode.
I'm looking forward to a breath of fresh air after the stench of this place.
Yeah, me too, everyone. Dig Fig out! It's like you're recording an episode for YouTube, and the guy doing your outro, and this guy just has to spew his nonsense right in the middle of it. It's so rude. The interrupting episode. Click on all the things over here. They appear. It's fine.